that we will have with you guys as a mentor. So let me introduce myself. I'm Sylvia Staples. I am the Resource Assistant Program Manager for the Washington office, but I'm physically located in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been in this position in more of a permanent role for a year now, but I've been managing the Resource Assistant Program and working with the program since 2017, starting back in Region 8 when I was a recruiter. So very knowledgeable about the program. I'm very passionate about the program, and I am here to be a supporter of you, the RAs, and the partners. So that's me. Thank you so much for joining. Vanessa, I'm going to pass it over to my right hand so she can introduce herself.
Hi, Sylvia. Hi, all. I'm Lady Vanessa Reyes. Pronouns are she and her. I'm Program Specialist for Resource Assistance Program. I myself was an RA from 2019 to 2020, and I converted to this team at the end of 2020 and have loved it ever since. I help Sylvia with onboarding, orientation, and RA engagement, and happy to help anyone with any questions. Thanks, Sylvia.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Vanessa. All right, so again, this will be recorded. So if you have to leave early, then feel free to just hop off and we will share this out widely with all mentors. However, if you can stay on the entire time, then please do, because there may be something that you may have a question about that we can answer for everyone out loud. So if you can stick with us, then stick with us. So I'm going to go ahead and, before I share my screen and get started, I do have a question. Vanessa is going to introduce a poll question. And we just kind of want to know if this is your first time engaging in the program as a mentor or if it's not. So we just kind of want to get a feel for who may be completely new to the Resource Assistant program. So feel free to look into the chat box and give us a response of a yes or no if this is your first time. A lot of yeses. All right. Okay, thank you so much for responding to that poll. So it seems there is a lot of first-time RA mentors, which is awesome, which is great, because that's what we want to do. We want to continue to expand the program and tap into positions and mentors and staff areas and forests and regions that we have not been able to engage with in the past. So thank you so much for that poll response. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now, and we're going to jump into my quick presentation of the program. And if you have any questions at any point in time, drop them in the chat. Vanessa will be monitoring the chat, and we'll also cover those questions once I kind of stop. So feel free to just chime in at any time with your questions. All right, just going to do a quick check. Vanessa, can you see the screen?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So what is the Resource Assistant Program? So the Resource Assistant Program was established in the Forest Service in 2016. And this program allows us to provide a rigorous and immersive paid cultural and natural environmental experience for those that are current students as well as recent graduates. However, we do like to prioritize and put preferences on the recent graduates just because of the length of the term that one might spend in this position as an RA. So we kind of lean more towards those that are a recent graduate or about to graduate versus those that are a current student. This program allows us to really focus on those that are coming from underrepresented communities. So really reaching out to your HBCUs, which are going to be your historically Black colleges and universities, your HSIs, which is going to be your Hispanic serving institutions, your tribal schools and tribal organizations. So we're really trying to tap into those organizations, those communities that we are lacking in the agency, so we can build our diversity and be a more diverse and inclusive agency. And this here just kind of shows our legislative code here, and you can also look that up. Some of the objectives of RAP, this is a workforce development program and not just a work program. And it's very important for one to understand the intent of the program and the value of this program so that we can make sure that you are using the best program to meet your needs for your staff. We have the PLC program, we have our seasonal hires, but RAP allows you to really bring in an emerging professional and develop them by providing that on-the-job training and mentorship so that they can, be able to transition into a entry-level position into the agency. That's what RAP is about. We're not looking for them to come in with years of experience. We're not looking for them to come in with months and months of experience. But a lot of these RAs will come in fresh out of college. So it's up to us to take the time to build out a training plan to make sure that we really give them that good exposure and that good experience. I like to look at RAP as a long-term interview. And it's a two-way street. They're trying us out for the first time, and we're trying them out. And hopefully at the end, it's a good fit. And even if it's not a good fit for your particular position, maybe they found their niche in something else that they were exposed to. So we really want you to use this program as a way to really help the RA explore the careers within the Forest Service. Of course, train them for the position in which you've hired them for, but expose them and really give them a really great Forest Service experience, because a lot of times their first experience will determine what route that they take with their career. I remember my very first mentor or supervisor, because I was in the RA, but my very first supervisor, he was awesome. His name is Robbie Sitzler, and he was awesome. And I truly believe that he was one of the reasons why I stuck with the Forest Service. So you just never know how much of an impact you can make on a person in their career. So just to kind of give you guys more information about the program, talking a little bit about the benefits and eligibility. So of course, for the eligibility, one must be at least 17 years of age, but of course, all of our RAs are much older because they are college graduates. They must be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, and that's because we do want them to eventually become a Forest Service employee, so they must meet that requirement. They must have a minimum of associate's degree in order to satisfactorily complete the program. So once they are into the program as an RA, if they don't have their degree yet, but they complete their 960 minimum hours, then they won't be awarded their certificate until after they complete their degree. But let's say your RA has already completed their degree and now they're in the program, then they're going to work their hours. And they're going to complete 960 minimum hours, which is roughly about 6.5 months. And once they hit that, then they are now eligible for their certificate. But of course, a lot of the positions that we have now are 8 and 12 months. And so just because they are in a 12-month or 8-month position does not mean that they have to wait until the end to be issued their certificate. They can be issued their certificate as soon as they hit the 960 hours, but we'll talk about that more later on. Going over some of the benefits. Of course, there is a stipend that's provided to the RA. At minimum, they can receive $500 a week. Some RAs are also receiving $650. Our max that you can pay an RA for the stipend is going to be $750. So some RAs are receiving that. And if you are going to engage an RA with the $750, that's your opportunity to engage an RA that may have a higher educational level. Maybe you are interested in someone with a master's degree or a PhD or a certain skill set. Then you have provided $750 so that you can kind of maximize that recruitment. RAs can opt in or opt out of healthcare if they so choose to, but that money is there. And if you do have an RA that decides to opt out of the healthcare, then we're able to reallocate those funds to support the RA in a different way. They will receive paid time off, and if they are, and that just depends on if they are working 8 months or 12 months. If they are working for 8 months, they will receive 7 days of PTO. And if they're working for the entire year, then they will receive 10 days of PTO, in addition to all of the other federal holidays that we receive as federal employees, as well as early releases. The housing allowance. Each RA will receive $1,000 of the housing allowance, and they receive that monthly. And this is for all RAs, whether they're working in person or virtually, they'll receive that. Train and travel. If your RA is working in person, they also will receive a commuter allowance. That commuter allowance is going to be $50 a month, and that will be directly deposited into their account. So that can be used for, if there are parking fees at your office, if they are having any transportational costs, they can use the $50 for that a month. If they are, again, are a virtual RA, then we can just reallocate those funds to support in a different way. The other training travel funds that they receive is going to be $2,750 of training travel funds that can be used for professional development. So if there is a training opportunity or a conference that the RA is interested in or that you are interested in sending them to, that they can use the funds to support those costs. So for their registration, for their room and board or their lodging, for their flight, whatever cost might be incurred, they can use that money for that. Now, there is a difference between invitational travel because we want them to go to a certain unit to do mission critical work and this training travel funds, right? So if it's something that supports their professional development, they can tap into this. But if it's something that you want them to go work on another unit and it's just mission critical work, then we're going to ask you to do invitational travel. But again, we can talk about that later on. The other benefits for this program is going to be that networking and that mentorship that they're getting from you, from other staff. So it's very important for you to really expose them and provide them the opportunity to network with other people. And lastly is the direct hire and the non-competitive eligibility. So that's the golden ticket there, because that ticket allows them to be able to, one, use the non-competitive option and apply to USA Jobs, or two, be directly appointed into a position without further competition. The minimum level that we try to equate the positions to in the RAP program is the GS5. So we do ask that you are giving them at least a GS5 level of experience so that they do qualify for positions when they're done. In this program, we engage the cohorts twice a year. We have a winter cohort, which is this one, going to be starting in February, as well as a June summer cohort. Again, we are now managing the program with 8 and 12-month terms only. Some of the other stuff, I really won't go into all of that right now. We'll have a future session to talk a little bit more about all of that stuff. So the roles and responsibilities. So the Washington office, since we introduced RAP 2.0 back in 2020, we took along a lot of the responsibilities off of the regional liaisons and took that on in the Washington office. So we take care of all of the agreements, managing those agreements, managing the invoices, taking care of the onboarding, orientation, reporting, policy. We take care of all of that. You also will have an RSA liaison. So the region station area liaison, you're going to have that person to serve as like the middleman. So they help, they will help you with, if you need help coordinating things with us or with the partner, helping you to walk and talk through your funding, networking. They will also issue certificates and just make sure that everyone is in compliance. Our partners take care of all of the outreach and recruitment and managing the benefits. So those funds that I talked about, the partner will manage that. So if there's a training or travel that's needed, you'll work with the partner to get that stuff scheduled and they'll take care of all of that. They will also provide additional program support. So a lot of the partners do their own workshops and professional development webinars that they'll have speakers come in to assist the RA. So it's kind of they're getting support from both ends, from us as an agency as well as the partners, along with other reporting requirements. You, as a host unit or a mentor, you're responsible for providing that direct work for the RA and just supporting them with their professional development and just complying with the program for the intent of the program and just confirming that they are developing, that they are receiving great on-the-job training. We do ask that you have a work plan that ensures that you are giving them a quality experience and, again, setting them up for success for qualifying for that position. And then the RA is just their responsibility to show up and receive this experience, have an open mind, and get as much out of this program as they can. This here just shows a quick overview of all of our partners that we have with the Resource Assistance Program. At the top, you see all of our national partners, as well as the bottom, those are going to be our regional partners that our regional liaisons kind of manage their own agreements with. But each one of you have been assigned to a partner who you will be receiving an email from very soon to ask for your PD. So our first partner is Environment for the Americas, Mobilize Green, Hispanic Access Foundation, MANARS, which stands for Minorities in Agriculture and Natural Resources and Related Sciences, as well as the Greening Youth Foundation. And again, you will know very soon who your partner is and will need to be responsive, and that's who you will work with to engage your RA. This just kind of gives you a quick snapshot. Of course, there won't be any additional funds needed. Your funds have already been added to our agreements, and we are working now to fully execute the remaining agreements. But all of those calls that I talked about are already built in. So what we asked you for to link to our WPAP weeks ago, all of these calls are already covered in that. So no need to add any additional money or to support the RA in any other way, unless, again, you would like for them to go on a travel assignment and you're going to be paying for it through invitational travel. Here is just some links and some websites to learn more about the RAP program. We have the RAP Connect portal, which again, we'll talk about in future sessions. You can also contact us at our RAP email address there, or you can email myself or Vanessa directly, and we can provide questions or answers to any of the questions that you might have. And I'm also going to go into the PD and other things, but I want to just stop presenting and take a moment to see if there's any questions right now. And again, I will, after that, go into the PDs and what's to be expected for the PDs and the timeline and recruitment. So are there any questions at this time? If you have a question, feel free to drop it in the chat or use the hand raising function and I will call on you. So I see that I have a couple questions already. Is there a handout with specifics of amount of each of these benefits? Yes, we do have a handout, and this will also be posted on the job board for when an applicant applies for the position. Our partners will list out, that they'll receive $1,000 or in a stipend and all of that stuff. So those details will be provided for all applicants as well as whoever selected, and we will also share something with you that has these benefits. Could you provide a PD template? Yes, I will show you guys today what is to be expected. Every partner does things a little differently in how they request for your information and how they set up their job board. So I can just kind of show you guys what to expect, but it really just depends on which partner you with. So I will definitely be sharing my screen in just a moment, and I'll share with you guys those PD templates that they have. Any other questions? All right, I see I have a question from Jennifer. Jennifer, you want to go ahead and unmute yourself?
Yeah, thank you. We are intending on converting the RA that we're bringing in directly into the position that they're serving. Can we state this expectation up front that, we would presume that they would, as long as the 8 months went successfully, be converted into the position that they're acting in? Or is this a program really where they should have that full realm of, okay, they're done with their RA-ship and they can apply to anything that's open across the agency?
Yeah, so no. So for us, the goal is to hire them, in the position that they're working in. If it's a good fit, if it's a good fit for you, if it's a good fit for them, then that's the ultimate goal. But we do understand that sometimes things change on units, positions don't get approved. So they may have to apply for a different position, or they may have to source out another location within the agency. But once they receive that certificate, they can use that for any other positions in the agency to be directly appointed or again, apply to USA Jobs. But the ultimate goal is for them to be hired and potentially right there where they are working with you as an RA. So it's very, if you know for sure that you're going to have that position at the end, yeah, go ahead and share that with them to let them know that, hey, there is a real opportunity to work here, if all goes well. So I definitely encourage that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so I'll take these 3 questions in the chat, and then I'm going to share screen again and go through some other items, and then I'll open it back up for questions. So the next question is from Richard. You mentioned winter and spring cohorts. Do we have the option to choose an onboarding month, either February or June? Yes, Richard. So if you are just added funds for a position and something has changed and you are no longer interested in bringing on your RA in the month of February, and you want to wait to the next cohort, which is going to be in June, let me know. So I'll need to know that as soon as possible. But yes, you can defer your position. And also, if things don't go well with the recruitment and we're not able to recruit the best candidate for you, and you want to defer, as long as your position is not on an agreement that's expiring. So we manage the RAP program through participating agreements. And as you guys know, if it's a new agreement, then it's good for 5 years. But with the program, we have agreements that we have already started, and we've been modifying them and creating spas that, but it doesn't change the life of the agreement. The agreement is still good for 5 years. So let's say that we added your position on an agreement that's good for 2 more years. Then you can't keep on deferring. So it really just depends on that expiration date. But a lot of you are good on new agreements, so you should be good there. But just something to kind of keep in mind. But yes, if you would like to defer your position to the summer cohort, then please do let me know. I have a question from Patrice, and then I'll take Leslie's question. And again, I'll go back and share my screen. Is the work schedule flexible, number of hours per week? Yes, you can provide a flexible work schedule. We ask that you try and stay on that 40-hour a week schedule if at all possible. But sometimes the RA might be in school. And so there have been opportunities in the past where the mentor have provided like a part-time schedule for the RA, or there could have been other, needs from the mentor. So it just depends on your RA and what you guys work out. We won't get into the weeds of that with you, but I will say that sometimes it's hard for the partners to kind of track that kind of stuff. So you'll just need to have a conversation with your partner and have a conversation with your RA once they are selected to determine what that work schedule is. But yes, you can do a full-time or part-time work schedule. We don't like to offer them like MaxiFlex because that's a government benefit to have, but there is flexibility. But again, that's going to be on you guys as a mentor to work those things out with your RA. Is there funding in the budget if we want to hire someone with a graduate degree at the $750 a week rate, or would we have had to request additional funding previously if we want to hire? Great question, Leslie. So if you requested a $500 a month, a week RA or $650, and you realize that, yeah, you want to bump that up to $750, there might be an opportunity there. It really just depends on if your unit is going to have additional funds to be added to the agreement later, right? So again, we manage this not by giving me a job code and we charge that job code. We have to do modifications to these agreements to add the funding to these agreements to get them executed and the whole nine. So if that is something that you want to do, is something that needs to be decided. We'll have to discuss and see how much funding, how much additional funding you will need to make sure that that position is fully funded. And the next time that we do a modification to the agreements, we can add whatever remaining funds that'll be needed to support that $750 a week stipend. So it can happen, but it's definitely something that would need to be discussed, decided on, and we would need to kind of lay out all the details before sharing that with the partner and stuff. So just depends. All right, so I see I have 2 more questions from Megan and Jennifer, but I'll come back to you guys. I want to go ahead and share some more information, and then I'll come back to your questions. So let's pull this up. So in the email, if you did not receive the email from me, please let me know. But in the email, I did share kind of our timeline for the cohort when it comes to recruitment and onboarding and all of that. So I want to kind of talk through that for a second. And then again, like I said, I'll show you the PD templates as well as the partner sites and a couple other things. So if you did not receive the email, again, let us know. But recruitment is going to start. I have on here September the 26th, but it really just depends on how responsive you are to the partner. The sooner you guys get your PD and your information back to the partner, the sooner that they can post your job. So it really just depends. But also, to be honest, there are some agreements that we have not yet fully executed, and we're working with GNA on it. Some of your positions, there's been some funding issues that we're just sorting through with some units. So there's kind of been a hold up on some agreements, but some of them are good to go. But that's not something that you'll know. You'll just know once you receive an email from your partner. But let's say that you don't receive your email from the partner until after the 26th. It's okay. We'll have all the way until November the 4th to do recruitment. So during that recruitment and application period, the job portals will be open. It's not like USA Jobs where the partner has to wait till the end before they can start looking at applicants. So as soon as people start applying for the positions, our partners will start screening applicants. So let's say that you say you want a tribal, you want to engage someone from a tribal college. They're going to be screening for that, right? Let's say you want someone with GIS skills, and they're going to be screening for that. So anything that you share with them that you would like to look for or recruit, they're going to be accepting applications and screening anyone that's not a U.S. citizen. So all of those details, anyone that may not have a degree that you listed as a required degree. So all of that is going to happen during recruitment, application, and screening. All of that is happening at the same time. After November the 4th, the partners will have like a week or so to do their last bit of screening. So we usually give them like another week to finish out their screening. So on November the 11th, that's when the partners will submit their applicant packages to you. So each mentor receives 3 to 5 candidates. So it's not like a traditional Forest Service hiring. You won't receive 25 or 15 candidates to go through application packages. And it's not even a package, it's really just a resume. So they will share with you the resumes of the applicants that you have to consider. Again, it's going to be 3 to 5. Now, there are some times where positions will get a lot of traffic and a lot of attention, and so there might be more. So if you do want more applicants, then they can and will provide that to you. No, I'm not sharing screen. I'm just kind of talking right now, Laura. They will provide you more applicants if you would like to see more candidates, but they try to go ahead and screen and give you the top 3 or 5. During November the 14th through the 17th, that's going to be the interview week. So it's important for you to go ahead and lock those dates in now to be prepared for interview. Now, what I will say about that is, in the past, sometimes your interviews might fall on a different date, right? And the reason why is because maybe your position was not recruited well, right? It didn't get a lot of applicants right away. So they wanted to extend the application period. So there's different factors that might play a part, but as long as your position does well, you'll be able to have your candidates on time and can go ahead and be responsive and set those interviews up. So I have a lot of experience with collective hiring events, and I know this stuff can work. I know it might seem like a tight timeline, but with my experience with all the national collective hiring events where we're filling 200 plus positions, it can work. You just have to be prepared. And so go ahead and block your calendars for these dates. Once you receive your resumes from the partners on the 11th, you can use that Friday the 11th or the 14th to go ahead and reach out to the candidate before you even start screening their resumes. Reach out to the candidate, schedule that interview, and then start looking through their resumes, have the interview, and then you can go ahead and be responsive and make your selection. Once you make your selection, you're going to provide that to the partner, and then they're going to make the job offer. So you won't make the job offer. You will only do your interviews, and you will go through your selections, and you'll make a selection and provide the partner with your top person with alternates. The reason why we ask that you provide alternates is so the partners don't have to come back and say, well, Jane Doe declined. Who would you like to go to next? So you're going to provide them with your top selection and 2 alternates. And again, once the partner receives that, then they are going to then make the job offer. Once they make the job offer and that candidate accepts, then they will let you know, and then we will start the onboarding process. And that onboarding process is taken care of again by my staff. So no need for you guys to do the all of the onboarding, ordering computers and all of that. We take care of all of that stuff. By the 29th is when my staff will start all of that. On December the 1st is when we'll start our onboarding. On the 29th is when we'll have a cohort onboarding webinar. So we start to have the calls with the selectees right away to prep them for onboarding, to let them know what to expect during onboarding. The documents we'll need them to fill out. So there's a lot of communication that starts to happen between my staff and whomever is selected. And of course, orientation week, all RAs are responsible for completing 1 week of orientation prior to them starting in their position. So of course that will start on February the 6th through February 10th. We are hoping for, fingers crossed, an in-person orientation. If nothing else happens between now and then, we will have an in-person orientation, and we'll share more details about that later. But if something happens, then we have to change to a virtual, then we'll switch to a virtual orientation. But we're really hoping to have an in-person orientation. So that's the quick timeline. And yes, I understand that there's some holidays built in there, which is why I'm sharing this information early on so that you guys can do some pre-planning. Please, and also understanding that just because we might have a federal holiday doesn't mean our partners observe that holiday. So they may be still working. So again, just be prepared for that. They may get you that stuff early. They may get it to you the following week, or you may have it in your inbox when you return on the 12th. So just know that these are the dates that the partners will have. So just be mindful that things will happen during this time. So again, that's the reason why I'm sharing this stuff early on so that you can go ahead and block your calendars or have someone on your staff to assist you with this stuff. So just because you're the mentor doesn't mean that you have to be the person that does the interviews. If you know that you're going to be off work, then have someone to step in for you. But it's really, really important for us to try our best to stick to these timelines because it takes a lot from my staff to onboard so many people. And we are right now slated for over 100 RAs that will be onboarding. So timeline is very, very important, but we will work with you guys if issues come up. So I'm going to take a couple more questions and then I'll again go to my documents that I'm going to share. So do units participate in choosing hiring of candidates? I think I kind of already answered that. Yes. So all of us will help with recruitment. And I'll talk more about recruitment in a second. But when it comes to choosing your candidate, you will choose your own candidate. What constitutes a recent grad? So of course, the 2-year recent grad thing is only for pathways. So when it comes to the resource system program, all of our partners are a little different as far as what they determine as a recent graduate, but most of them stay within 5 years. So as long as the person is within 5 years, then more than likely they're okay with applying and being considered as a recent graduate. Do we do the reference checks? Yes, Joan, you will do the reference checks if you so choose to. Not everyone does a reference check. And that's another thing that I want to point out with the program is that I know a lot of us are used to our traditional hiring processes where there's a certain way we have to do interviews. There's a certain way that we have to do reference checks. That's not the case with the resource assistant program. Yes, you will do your interviews and you can determine what those questions are you want to ask. But please keep in mind that these are recent graduates or someone that are just now about to graduate. So the types of questions that we ask, they don't need to be questions that will trip a person up. Let's keep our questions very standard because again, this is a developmental program. So just be mindful that your questions should not be the same as if you are applying or hiring someone that can hit the ground running and you advertise your position. So be mindful of that. We will share some examples of interview questions with everyone. And again, the reference checks, it's totally on you. There's no set amount of reference checks that you have to do because this is not our traditional hiring process. Yes, I think I already hit that point. Yes, Friday is a holiday. But again, partners may still be working, so they may have that to you and you'll get it on that Monday or whenever you return. And yes, many of you will take leave, but if you look at the timeline, you'll see that on the 18th is when we ask for you to submit your selection to the partner. So the 25th is when the partner will confirm with us of who your RA will be. So there's nothing for you to do on the 25th unless you have not selected your RA. But as long as you stick to the timeline, you're good for Thanksgiving. What computer equipment are provided to RAs, or does our office need to provide? No, your office will not need to provide any computers. Again, we will order all computers. We will initiate their Forest Service profiles. We will take care of all of that. So no needs from you guys on any of that. We'll take care of that. What we will need from you guys is if your RA will need a higher level computer, let's say they're doing GIS work or some special engineering work and they need a higher level computer, then we will need to know that once we start ordering computers. But if they're just in a regular position and they can just take our basic laptops, then that's what they will be ordered. If that were in person, would that happen in DC? So the in-person orientation, we have not decided on location, but it's looking like it's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. We want it to be somewhere where there's a major airport so we can kind of keep the cost at a minimum, as well as a place that where the weather conditions would not be severe in the month of February. So we're looking for a location now, but it's looking like it might be Atlanta, Georgia. But again, we'll share that out. Mentors are definitely a part of orientation, but if this is going to be an in-person, we will not be asking for mentors to show up in person. We will have an opportunity for you to connect with them virtually. But again, we'll share more details about that later. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I really want to hit some other points. And also keep in mind, we're going to have another session. I usually have a mentor session after you have selected your RA and right before they start working. But I wanted to have a session today just to talk about your PDs, about the program as a whole, as well as prepping you for recruitment. So I'm going to share my screen now so we can talk about that. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is that there will be a flyer that I'll share with everyone. This is the flyer that we used the last time. So I'll share this flyer as well as other flyers that you guys can use to help spread the word about the positions. Again, they will have to apply through the partner job board, which I'll show you guys in a second, but we'll have some recruitment materials that you can share. It shares that these positions, how long they are, that that's $500 minimum, all of those benefits that I kind of went through, and it has a way for them to contact us. You'll also have a link from your partner that will take them straight to that job if they are interested. So let's say that you want to do your own recruiting for your specific position. They will provide you a link and you can send that out to your network to recruit for your position. I'm just going to show you guys a couple of examples of some PDs that you will be receiving from or templates that you will be receiving from the partner. So just depending on who your partner is will decide what this will look like. So if your position has been assigned to manners, then you will receive something that looks like this. And it's just going to ask for their job title, reports to, that's going to be, who the person is that they report to. So which is you, the mentor, as well as the location, that office, as well as an overview of what that job will be. And it's going to ask you for a list of those responsibilities and duties, the qualifications. So again, what type of degree? So if you're looking for an archaeologist, then make sure you specifically say archaeology or anthropology or whatever is going to qualify. The other thing I really like to point out with that is be as specific as possible, because in the past we have had mentors to have a position and they really won't specify what will take for that person to qualify for OPM. And so an RA will come into the position, they get this experience, and then they can't even qualify for the position because they don't have the appropriate degree. So let's make sure that we are looking at the OPM requirements that it would take for this person to qualify. And then we're telling the partner they need a communications degree, they need an archaeology degree, or they need a forestry degree. So whatever that degree is, then go ahead and list that. Again, if there's any special skills or anything that they need to screen out, then make sure you provide that to the partner. So that's a look at manners. I'll just show you a couple more. They all look pretty similar, but there are some differences. Here's one from the Green and Youth Foundation. Again, location, their start date, the duration, whether they're going to be 8 months or 12 months, a summary of the position, the duties, qualification. All of this stuff down here will be already provided because this stays the same for all of the RAs. This will change. But yeah, just general information. Please, please, please do not provide the partners our official PDs. Do not. They don't understand it. They don't know what it is. You can pull from that to generate your own qualifications and skills to build this out, but please do not share with them our official PDs because that is unacceptable. And again, this is just one more that I'll show. Or actually, I'll show you the other one because they use a form. So EFTA uses a form, a questionnaire form. So you'll receive a link from EFTA, Environment for the Americas. And again, it's just a quick form that you'll fill out. Again, same type of information that they're requesting. So wanted to show that. The other thing that I'll show you guys really quick is what the job boards kind of look like. So again, to apply for these positions, they will apply through a job board. So this is Mobilize Green. Again, you will have a link that will take you straight to these pages. So don't worry about that. Once the partners post the jobs, they will provide the links. So these links will take you straight to your position. So it'll say whatever your job is, as well as the location, regardless of if it's virtual or in person, it'll still have the location. And then they'll be able to click on that position and they can learn more. I don't know what this is going to say. I don't even know if it's going to say that this is even still an open position or not, but we'll see in just a second. Okay, yeah. So this is kind of what Mobilize Green job board and the position looks like. So but this looks like it's one of their, this is one of their generic ones. So this one isn't for a certain position. This is just one of their generic ones if people want to just kind of apply and get entered into their portal. But this is the look of what the potential job posting will look like for your position. And I'll show you guys one more. This is one from from Green Youth Foundation. They have their site where they talk a little bit about the program, what the program is, some of the benefits. And then once you click on positions available, it's going to take you to a site and then you'll be able to click on whatever position you're interested in looking at. Come up in just a second. They use a site called Job Diva. So this is a look at one of their job posting. Of course, up here it has a job number. They'll share that job number with you. It has the pay rate, there's the internship, overview, the major duties, responsibilities, required skills and knowledge, all of that information. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys what the job boards could potentially look like. Again, just depending on the partner that you're with, as well as some of those templates. So with that, I will stop sharing. And again, this we will have future calls to talk more in depth about the program. But today I really wanted to focus on prepping you for recruitment and for being responsive to the partner. So that's what this is about. So I'm going to go to the chat to answer more questions. But if you have a question and you would like to ask out loud, then please go ahead and use the hand raising function and I will call on you. The partners they have not received your information yet. I'll be sending it out to them today. So you can expect any emails from today, tomorrow, Friday, or even next week. You'll start to receive some information from the partners. Let's see, what was the last question? Does the candidate start for the Forest Service after the WO onboarding or after the orientation? So again, orientation will be February the 6th that week, and then the following week is when they'll start in their position with you. Or sometimes they might start a little later because of different situations. So again, you guys can decide that with your RA, but after orientation. You have developmental work plans that exist that we can use. Yes, we'll share those developmental work plans at a later date, Jennifer. Again, right now, we just kind of want to focus on the PDs to make sure you guys have all the information that you need for now. But before your RA starts, we'll have another meeting like this where I'll talk about PDs and work plans and all of that stuff. So we'll come back to that. If only 1 or 2 people apply, will we still be able to hire an RA? Yes, if only 1 or 2 people apply and they are great candidates, the partner will still provide you their information and you can select, from that 1 or 2 person that applies. Someone will send you the templates. Yes, you will receive the template from your partner that you have been assigned to. So there's no taxes that are taken out. Again, the RAs will go through a session where they'll learn about how to manage their stipends and other benefits and how to do their taxes and stuff like that. But yeah, they are not being taxed. When do the partners solicit the positions for information? Deborah, like I said, they'll be receiving your email addresses and stuff today, and they'll start reaching out to you as early as today. Are we completing multiple PDs? No. Each position is assigned to a partner. So not all partners the partners are not recruiting for all positions. Again, we have over 100 positions. So your individual position is assigned to one partner. So that's who will take care of recruiting and managing your RA, and that's who you will solely work with. But again, it's, we're gonna share that recruitment flyer out, and I think that is all of our job and all of our duty to help each other to recruit. So even if you are recruiting for a wildlife biologist, but you know someone that's looking for a communications position, then share the information that, hey, there's going to be a conservation education position in the RA program, so you should apply for this. So we'll all help each other out with that recruitment. We'll also be working with the recruiters of the agencies, and the partners really do a great job of recruiting. So another thing to keep in mind about the partners that you'll learn, they'll also have their own orientations with you guys so that you learn more about the partner organization that you're working with. But for the partners, even if you're working with a Hispanic Access Foundation, that does not mean that you're going to get a Latino or Hispanic candidate. They recruit all candidates, right? And so I just wanted to, throw that out there. But again, be very specific in what you're looking for. If you know that your unit, your staff is looking for a tribal, someone from a tribal college, say that. Tell the partners specifically you are looking for a tribal engagement, right? So that they can recruit you there. Because if you don't tell them and they find you someone else, then, they're not meeting your needs. So let's make sure that we're very clear with the partners what we're looking for. What determines which partner organization we're paired with? So that was determined, way before you started, when you started to link your funds, that was determined by myself and others, which partners. So it just depended on the type of position, the location, and all of that stuff determined which partner, as well as if some mentors reached out and told me they only had a set certain amount of money, and all of our partners have different program rates, and so some are higher than others. So there's a lot of different things that I had to factor in when deciding which partner will receive your position, but that was decided by myself and the staff. Thanks for the orientation on the program. You are so welcome. Since this is hired through a partner, can we put in requirement for language skills when? Yes, you can. It's hired through a partner. So again, whatever it is that you need, if you need someone that is bilingual or can speak Spanish or anything, let the partner know. So whatever you want them to recruit for, whatever you want them to screen for, you have to let them know. So just make sure that when they reach out to you, you fill out their PD and you let them know exactly what you're looking for. I'm going to share my screen one more time and show you guys one last thing. There is a tracking sheet that I'm tracking. So you guys will respond to the partners, but for my tracking, I am tracking all positions on the spreadsheet that I have. Some of you did not provide me with a position title. So if you know that you did not give me a position title, then please let me know what your position is going to be. Some of you only put a series, and I know that we said in the request sheet that we wanted you to have something with a professional series, but we still need a job title, right? So if you know you didn't give me a job title, then please respond to that job title. All of your positions have been provided a position identifier. So we want to, I'm going to share this and show you. All of your positions have been provided a position identifier. And so when the partner reach out to you, they will probably reference that, but it's important to keep up with that identifier in case your RA, let's say you hire an RA and then they leave early, or you need to add more funds or make any changes. We are keeping up with your position by that identifier. And again, this is only specific to us in the agency, not necessarily the partner when it comes to, well, I guess we're all kind of keeping up with that, but it's a number that was created by myself. So again, I'm going to share my screen one more time. So this is just a quick look of my spreadsheet that I'm tracking of the positions. So as you can see here, for instance, this position in Region 1, their number is HA 600. I have their information in Region 1, the National Forest, they're going to be in the supervisor's office. I have that they're going to be a wildlife biologist. I have the mentor, all of that. But there's a lot of positions where I was given series and the locations are unknown. So we will share this information, and please be responsive to let us know what your position really is, what the job title is, and If there's any changes, if you're no longer going to be the mentor, if you're going to go on detail, any of those details, we need to know that stuff. It's very important that you are responsive to myself and Vanessa with any of these changes, especially once we start onboarding. And I think that was it that I wanted to cover today. I know there was a lot and we kind of took the whole time, but I wanted to make sure that you guys are equipped for this recruitment process and again, can be responsive to the partners. Again, I would like to reiterate, this is a developmental opportunity, right? So I hope that you guys understood that once you decided to participate in this program and that you are really excited and passionate about developing our next generation of leaders, because that's what this program is about. So no expectations of them to be able to come in and hit the ground running. We're going to develop them and give them the best Forest Service experience that we can, that's going to make us be the employer of choice for them. Do we send the job title information directly to you? Yes, you can send that directly to me, Sharon. So again, if you have any changes, send that directly to me. I can update my spreadsheet and we can keep moving forward. We'll also, the last thing that I'll share is that your RSA liaison, if you don't know who that person is, we will also send that out. So in the follow-up email, we will have that information to share with you who your region station area liaison is, because they're going to serve as a middleman. Again, it's 100 plus of you guys, so I may not have time to respond to everyone's individual email. So if you want immediate responses, they're going to be your first person that you want to contact a lot of times. And then they will come to me if need be. But a lot of times they can help you with your questions that you might have. If you're in the Washington office, you're going to come to me. But if you are in the region, you're going to have the volunteer and services coordinator is going to be your RSA liaison. So again, we will share that out. There are some regions that are recruiting right now and hiring their liaisons, so they have detailers. So we'll make sure you know who that detailer is. But if you have any issues, you can definitely always come to myself and Vanessa, and we can help you as well. But we will share that out with you. Selecting the information for the 20 climate art, so please reply. Yeah, so if you are a climate mentor, then you're going to work directly with Dixie, and she'll work with me to get that stuff updated. If you are R&D, working research and development, then you will have your own point of contact. So again, everyone has their own point of contact, but if all else fails, then definitely reach out to me and I'll answer your questions as soon as I can. All right, any last minute questions? We have about 5 minutes left. Are there any last minute questions? Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully you know more about the resource assistant program than you did, especially with so many first-time mentors. Again, we'll have future sessions, and I promise you'll have more and more information, but this was just to prep you for your PDs and for your recruitment cycle. And so hopefully you guys feel excited. I will be attending a lot of conferences and recruiting for the program as well. So if I find some knockout candidates that I think will be great for your positions, I would definitely have them to apply. And Vanessa will be attending some conferences and stuff too. So let's all work together, help each other to recruit a great candidate for your position and for all the other positions in the cohort. We will send out the next meeting invite, which will be again after recruitment is done, right before we start onboarding. We'll send that link out for everyone to be to have that on your calendar so that you will be ready for that. But thank you guys so much for attending this welcome to the RAP orientation call. I'm just scanning through the chat one more time to see if there's anything else that I need to hit before we go. Great, great, great. Thank you guys so much. Should the position title be the same as what we're targeting for the eventual permit? So it doesn't have to be the exact same, Sharon, you know, because sometimes our position titles are like your traditional titles for OPM, but there's not the real title of the position. So, you know, you can call it whatever you would like to call it, but just make sure that once your RA is selected and we get to talking about work plans, that it kind of aligns with the series and a real title. Okay, a bit overwhelming. I know it's a lot, Patrice, but we are here to support you. You have a big support system, so don't feel alone. was a great introduction to the RAP program. A lot of super useful information. Great, great, great. Thank you. No, the spreadsheet has not been shared, at least not with you guys. It has been shared with your RSA liaison, but it has not been shared with you guys yet. Okay, I think I got all of the questions. Well, thank you again so much. Welcome to the RAP program. We are excited to have you as a mentor. Please let myself and Vanessa know if there's anything that we can do to support you. You will be again hearing from the partners very, very soon. Reach out to your RSA liaison. And thanks again for attending today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I am the WO liaison. WO-R&D liaison, I believe, is going to be Ralph Crawford, but I will get back to you, Patrice, and let you know, because I think that will still be to be determined, but I will let you know. All right, you can stop recording.